What are the biggest mistakes people make when they try to use AI, and how can they avoid them? I can say the big mistake is, hi everyone, I'm Maryam Mirzaei. I'm Applied Research Chair of Data Management and Visualization. I did my PhD in Computing Science at University of Alberta. My research focus is in natural language processing and large language models, those that you all know by ChatGPT and the generative AI. So what are the biggest mistakes people make when they try to use AI, and how can they avoid them? What are some helpful tips to better use AI? I can say the big mistake is people believe AI is magic, which is not. So if you want to use AI tools, you will have to make sure that you are not skipping the hard part. And what is the hard part? The hard part is data cleaning, data preparation, and data readiness. Without building the foundations, the AI model will give you something which is useless. We are saying garbage in, garbage out. So you have to make sure that your data is ready for applying AI over them. How is current AI now different from smart features of the past, like Microsoft's Clippy or video game AI? That's a great question. All the smart AI followed by rules. So there are kind of fixed rules that you are telling to them, like if and else, and they're going to follow that. But modern AI, they're learning from experience. So they're trying to see over the data, find out the patterns and generalize them and use them later for a new situation. So it's a kind of a leap from rule-based and logics to learning experience by machine. What are the risks of AI to an individual, business, and society as a whole? For individual, I can say privacy and misinformation. So it's super important to make sure that you are not sharing your data with AI tools without giving them a consent. So be careful about sharing your personal information. And about misinformation, AI generating such a beautiful response is sometimes you believe, oh, that's amazing. But yeah, the truth is you can't rely on them. So you have to make sure that you're checking them and you're cross-checking them with those experts. For business, they have to make sure that their data is not biased and they're not trusted on untested model. Checking the data and make sure the data is ready and make sure that they are starting with small problems and checking every details about their pilot model and then go for the big one is very important for the business. And for the society, having an inclusive AI models. So AI is an evil, but we have to be careful how we are using them. For your personal goal, it's better, not better. You have to make sure that you are not using important information like social insurance number or health number, something like this. You can provide some general information. AI doesn't need to know what your name is or what your social insurance number is or what your healthcare number is. They want to know some general information about yourself. For example, your job or what you're interested in, something like this. So if you want to share those information, make sure that you're not aligning them with your personal information. How does AI impact privacy, security, and my personal data? So data is everything for AI. AI and machine learning without data is meaningless. So the more you share, the more you have to ask yourself, who owns this data? What we can do with this data, and be careful about sharing those data. There are some methods exist like federated learning that help you provide information and data with AI tools without sharing important identities. If you want to build a model, let's do a learning process for yourself on those kinds of methods like federated learning before sharing data. What does it really mean for a business or a community to adopt artificial intelligence? AI adoption is not a single step, it's a process. It's important for the companies to come up with a problem that they care about, prepare their data and make their data ready to apply AI models. And it's not about installing a model. It's about building a skill and trust on AI model and make sure that they are using the data-driven approach. What are the most common mistakes organizations make when trying to deploy AI in their operations? The most important mistake they're doing is skipping the groundwork. Messy data, biased data. So they want to deploy a model before making their data ready for applying AI over. Or they kind of start with unclear goals. They want to jump to AI adoption before preparing their teams, their data, their goals there for adopting AI. Start small and scale up later when the value is proven to the team. 70 to 80% of any AI deployment process is about data preparation. So you need to first figure out who owns the data, where your data exists. So data governance is one of the most important parts. And then what goal you have. So for figuring out what goal you have, sometimes you need to do the data exploration, see what trends you can see over the messy data, and then based on that, prioritize what problem you want to focus on. And after that, you figure out what problem you want to solve, then you start in cleaning your data, selecting those features from the data that you care about based on a problem you want to solve. After this step, now think about which AI model you can apply over your data. How can small organizations or remote communities start using data and AI without big budget? I believe they need to start with data awareness, collect the data they need to solve the problem. Sometimes you have a problem, but you don't have the data ready for that problem. And you don't need a big AI team for AI adoption. Actually, it's even better to finding a right partner and start with applied research centers like NATE and asking for help. Those team of experts can help you to prioritize your problem, preparing your data, and making those foundations that you need to applying AI over your data. How do you choose the right use case for AI rather than picking something just because it sounds cool? Pick something that if you make it automative, it will add value to your system. Ask yourself how AI can solve this problem for us. Make sure that you are keeping the human in loop to increase the accuracy of those models and you are not in a risk of misinformation. And then you can see the value is gonna be added to your system. One of the data repetitive tasks that we can see in many companies is reporting, generating reports. So you are doing project, and at the end of this project, your supervisor needs to see a report. The executive team needs to see, okay, what is the result of what you're doing here? This is where AI can help. Most of the companies have a huge example and samples of reports available. And when you want to start writing a new one, this is where AI can learn from those experiences, getting a new data from you and generating a new report. So this can be one of the examples how AI can help in a data repetitive task. So what is next for AI? What emerging trends will change our life in the next few years? Here, I want to use what Richard Sutton, the father of reinforcement learning, mentioned last year. Previously, we humans generate the architecture for artificial intelligence, and AI learned from the data. But now we are entering to the age of design. It means that AI and human co-design the new system and architecture for our future. It doesn't mean that we are replacing the humans, because we're not. We're just co-designing whatever is coming to the next step. We are managing and governing the way, and AI is doing the job for us. We are putting the vision and what we want to achieve, and AI show us how we can do that in more effective way. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.